Welcome back, comrades. This is Gaming with Austin, and today we're on episode 31 of Season 2 of the Utopian Community Series. If you're wondering if I read that, I read it while I generate the world. Here we are. I just plugged my phone in a charger, that's all. If any of you comrades know what the sound was, that's the sound of plugging in the USB-enabled device. It's not just plugging in USB drives that does that. Plugging in your phone for the purpose of storing data or charging your phone makes the same noise too. What I'm gonna do this episode, by the way, is I'm gonna try to finish rearranging the windows into floor markers. The reason I put the floor markers on, and after that, I'd rebuild the ceiling. Because I destroyed the ceiling now, like after the rearrangement gets done, I'd rebuild the ceiling, also known as the rooftop. When you use ballsack in the appropriate term, the definition of it, if you're using it in the appropriate term, is a bag used to store sports balls in. Hence the name ballsack. I know this sounds like a double entendre. It is. That is because it's a double entendre. That's my phone going off, by the way. Just ignore it, comrades. Let's focus on watching me finish rearranging the windows and the floor markers. The reason I put the floor markers on, I do it so it'll be easier. Tomorrow will be February. The first day of February, by the way. On the 9th of March, that's when I head off to Orlando for my Disney trip. Because I personally never gone to Disney World. I've been trying to go there my whole life. Now, I already got the tickets taken care of. My mom already booked the hotel. I can't give you further information until I get to Orlando. If you're gonna pack for Orlando for about a week, the only thing you're gonna need, you don't need a suitcase. One of the common misconceptions about going on vacation is that it requires a suitcase. If you're only going there for a week, you don't need one. One common misconception about vacationing is that there are really big, really heavy suitcases involved. Those are not necessary if you're doing it for about a week. The only thing you need is your book bag. If you're gonna make gaming videos on Go, bring a notebook with you. A notebook computer. I usually refer to laptops as notebooks. What laptops look like in 20 years? They are gonna look very different from what they look like now. By the way, in that video in which the guy drank a lot of rum, he barely survived. Because he got a liver transplant. Kids, unlike that musician who died from cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is liver failure that slowly progresses. With a disease that is considered acute, that means the onset is without warning. It happens without warning. But chronic on the other hand, it takes years for it to progress to advanced stage. Most organ failure in old age, is chronic organ failure. Some forms of cancers develop very rapidly. With chronic liver failure, is what's going to happen if you drink booze. Don't drink booze, kids. The reason you should not believe everything you see on the internet is because there are some possible real-world consequences for that, like, there are natural consequences, like, you shouldn't be drinking an entire liter of soy sauce in 2 hours. You shouldn't be doing that. Or else you could suffer from hypernatremia, which means having too much sodium in your body. Hypernatremia can cause a lot of problems. It can screw with your heart. It can cause your cells to shrivel up. Because water goes where sodium goes. Hyponatremia is having too little sodium in your body. With that, your cells would swell up like a water balloon. And burst. Hyponatremia one of the worst things about mercury is one of the worst things about being a chemist is constant exposure to unknown toxins. If you're going to work as a chemist, you gotta be very careful. Because methylmercury can go through nitrile gloves very easily. Methylmercury is poisonous not just by swallowing it, but also inhaling the fumes, or even touching it. Dimethylmercury, it's not just toxic, it's also really flammable. If the dimethylmercury catches on fire, you'll end up inhaling the mercury fumes. Your body will not like that. Your body's not gonna like that. Hyponatremia is having too little salt in your blood. You need sodium in your body, but too much sodium is bad for you. Same thing with having too little. If you're going to run a marathon, you're going to need to drink a bit of salt water so you don't overhydrate yourself. Because marathon runners suffer hyponatremia. Because they're not getting enough sodium. Too much sodium in your diet's really bad for you. Along with too little sodium. That's a message on Facebook, by the way. And the song I was humming to is called Motor Breath by Metallica. Slayer played a part, Slayer played the, what Slayer did was create death metal. Yes, you heard that right. They helped shape death metal a lot. Like, they made it rain blood. Rain in Blood by Slayer, the album itself is death metal. Death metal evolved directly from thrash metal, especially with the violent lyrics. That's Strike of the Beast by Exodus. They played that song at the Wacken Open Air Music Festival in 2008. I'll listen to a bit of thrash metal too. One of my favorite thrash metal bands, I like Metallica. I prefer the old stuff. from Kill 'Em All, Ride of Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, the only new album I like is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Hardwired to Self-Destruct! That's Battery by Metallica. The song Atlas Rise sounds kind of like Master of Puppets. Dave Mustaine of Megadeth was one of the founding members of Metallica. Then he got fired by Metallica for being on drugs. Seriously, kids, don't do drugs. Even if it doesn't mean jail time, it can screw with your health. Even if it's legal to do drugs, I'd rather not do them. Legal or not. Like, even if those controlled substances have been legalized, I wouldn't want to do those street drugs. Even if they've been legalized. Portugal, they relaxed their drug laws, and the result was pretty outstanding. Drug addiction rates dropped. This is proof that decriminalization does work. And if we legalize every last drug on this planet, carfentanil, I wouldn't want to touch that. Because even a very tiny pinpoint amount is enough to kill someone. That drug packs a punch. Just a small amount of it is enough to knock down an elephant. Just a small amount of that drug is enough to knock down an elephant. Fentanyl is more addictive than heroin. The real culprit to the opioid crisis? I'd blame it on the government and Big Pharma. America has one of the worst healthcare systems in the developed world. What it is, it's a for-profit healthcare system. This is why capitalism should be abolished. Atlas, rise! What we need to do is impose maximum wage ceilings for the CEOs to stop them, or we're gonna do it to stop them from getting too greedy. I know this might piss some of them off, but this may be the only way. How they could get their fair share for the workers. Got that done. My tip to you whenever it goes to fine dining, try to make sure it's got good reviews. Same thing with eating out at any restaurant. Make sure it has mostly good reviews. Be sure it has good reviews first. Mostly good reviews. Restaurants with mostly 4-star or 5-star reviews, on average, tend to be the most enjoyable. But 3-star restaurants are kind of meh. Collectively. 2-star or 1-star restaurants, stay the hell away from them. Stay the hell away from them. Stay the hell away from them. Which is why I tend to do my research before I eat out. To make sure it has mostly good reviews, because I don't want to go to a restaurant with bad reviews. Just because chances are their food is not very healthy. don't ever trust McDonald's for your food. Their food is not very healthy. Which is why I don't eat meat. It's full of cholesterol. Eating raw meat, ugh. I wouldn't want to do that. It's kind of disgusting. What kind of grosses me out, what sort of grosses me out is the fact that there's a guy that ate a bloody hunk of raw meat at a vegan festival. Ugh, I wouldn't want to do that. Anywhere. If we all went vegan, the world would be a better place for all of us. There'd be more food for all of us. Just because we humans can go vegan doesn't mean all our pets can. I get that. If you're gonna put your dog on a vegan diet, you gotta be very careful. Cats, putting your cat on a vegan diet is a big fat no-no. Anyways, this is it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video. Dislike if you disliked it, subscribe for more, share this with your comrades on social media. As always, thank you for watching, stay tuned for more, and peace out.